All right. Welcome to the Ridgecrest City Council for Wednesday, January 21st. Can I have a roll call?
We can, although I don't see Skip. Okay, Mayor Endicott.
Present.
Mr. Rajaratnam.
Present.
Mr. Heyman.
Present.
And Mr. Blades is walking up right now. He's here, so Mr. Gorman is absent, but we do have a quorum. He'll join us later.
All right. Can I get an approval of the agenda?
Motion second.
Motion and second.
And please vote. And Skip's not on there, so can you guys push the button to move it forward?
Can you?
Or we're gonna have to do roll call. Mayor Endicott, roll call.
Aye.
Mr. Blades,
Aye.
Mr. Rajaratnam,
Aye.
Mr. Heyman.
Aye.
4 ayes, 1 absent, motion carries.
All right. Next, we will move into closed session, conference with legal counsel, Government Code Section 54956.9, subsection B, potential litigation for cases, and closed session held pursuant to California Government Code Section 54957, subpart B, public employee performance evaluation, title city manager.
And for the record, there's no public comment on that.
Okay. I'm so happy everyone came for public comment tonight. I was informed that we're actually canceling city council tonight, so I'm sorry. That's a joke, that's sarcasm, didn't work, that's fine. All right, so if we can, we've come out of closed session, we're gonna start regular session. If you all would stand, remove your hats, your covers.
Hold on, if I may. Public comment on closed session? Public comment on closed session?
We had it beforehand.
You good?
Yep. All right. We'll have the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the invocation that follows. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join me in prayer if you would. Lord, thank you for giving us this opportunity to come into your presence. Lord, thank you for Ridgecrest, the city which we love and we cherish and we live in, Lord. Lord, I pray for our community. Lord, I pray for our country. Give the leaders of our country your direction so that they can take this country in the right way. Lord, I pray for our troops who are in harm's way. Protect them from all evil. Lord, I pray for our police department. Lord, as they put their lives online, Lord, be with them and protect them and bless their families, Lord. Lord, thank you for the responsibility which you have given to the city's council. As we discuss issues which are important to this community, Lord, give us your wisdom, lead us and guide us, and may our decisions be beneficial to this community. Lord, bless each one of us here today. In Jesus' precious name I pray. Amen.
All right. To start off, we'll have the attorney report out of closed session.
Thank you. Honorable Mayor and council members, council considered 4 claims in closed session. Those are claims filed against the city by Abbott, Peraza, Jimenez, and Torres. All 4 claims were rejected unanimously on a 4-0 count as Councilmember Gorman joined after that in closed session. The second item on the closed session was a decision with regard to the next city manager, and council unanimously decided to appoint Mr. Travis Reed as the next city manager for the city. His contract will be before the council at the next meeting. Congratulations.
All right, next we will move on to our presentation, the presentation of the key to the city to Tex Hoppus. Do you want us all to join you, sir?
Ultimately.
Okay,
Oh, yes, actually do, please.
so council, if you'll.
Thank you.
This is the best part of being a city councilman. And may I ask for Ted Hoppus to please step forward and stand next to me while, there he is, while I make you blush. Right here, sir. Good to see you again.
Good seeing you, sir.
Nice sweater.
Thank you.
Tex is about to get the keys to the city.
Without being told where the door is.
He could kick it in. Tex Hoppus, as most of you know, is a local hero. Just walk into our historic USO building on West Ridgecrest Boulevard to witness the decades of Tex Hoppus and company. Quiet dedication to that noble old structure which keeps the vivid history of Ridgecrest alive in our hearts. It all started with Tex's interest in family genealogy, apparently. His small genealogy group ultimately merged with the Historical Society, and under Tex's leadership, the hardworking group gradually rehabilitated that venerable USO building. The jail, firehouse, and peripheral associated Quonset huts emerged to their present form under Texas stewardship, and additionally, the peripheral redesignated Veterans Building, which was rescued from becoming a submerged one-room schoolhouse in the depths of Lake Isabella, ultimately joined the growing Historical Society complex to showcase our community's colorful past. So it is owing to his effective, persistent, and visionary leadership that we honor Tex Hoppus with the keys of the city of Ridgecrest, and also with sincere thanks and appreciation. Tex, you get to talk. Into that microphone.
Testing, 1, 2. I am truly humbled. I am very grateful, and I am proud to be a part of both the history and the future of this city, as are most of you, and I thank you.
Let's get some pictures taken. Would Texas staff and family please step forward and be part of the picture, please? And we'll get in behind you and offer a backdrop.
Thank you, sir.
It's my
You
pleasure.
made it happen.
Sir, good to see you. All right, next to the moment that I'm sure you're all here for, public comment of items not on the agenda. Persons wishing to address the council on matters that are within the council's jurisdiction and do not already appear on the agenda may do so at this time. Council will not respond to any public comments, but may provide direction to staff to collect information. Pursuant to the Brown Act, the city council may not act on an item that does not appear on this agenda. Speakers are limited to 5 minutes. The public comment section of this agenda is limited to a total of 1 hour. Each speaker is asked to provide his or her name. Are there any persons wishing to publicly comment on things that's not on the agenda? Okay. No, nothing on the phone calls? There is someone on the phone? Okay, caller, go ahead.
Yes, this is Mike Neal. Can you hear me?
We can.
Okay. I've been pleased at several of the last city council. Oh, I'm sorry, I got to get the muted. Sorry. Okay, I think that's corrected. I've been pleased at recent city council meetings to see some fellow citizens come up and present facts about the flock safety system LPR cameras that we now have all over Ridgecrest, and taking polls, finding out how people feel about that, and exercising their right to speak out against such surveillance. I guess since none of them came up there tonight, they must not be in attendance at this particular meeting, but I'd like to continue to voice my opposition to being surveilled on the streets of Ridgecrest 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I think this is an excessive use of the technology. It violates people's basic fundamental appreciation of privacy. I know there's always the comeback. You can't have any real privacy out in public. Well, yeah, you can. You can be free to only be looked at and maybe even have your picture taken once or twice as you're out of town, and some individual may choose to do so, and that's their right, and that shouldn't be a big problem. But say going around town, typical routes, they've surveilled the major vehicular choke points, and assured that you're not going much of anywhere in Ridgecrest unless you take careful use of side streets to go around these camera locations. Otherwise, you're going to be going from one end to Ridgecrest to the other. You could be photographed easily 5 or 6 times, and not just photographed, but kept in a database for 30 days at a time. And so you better be very careful about going out about town. Rarely go out town if you don't want to be stuck in this database. The database, which has been shown in several cases to be accessed improperly in other locations, and to have high potential of misuse and abuse by people with access to the positions, access to the system, rather. And so I'm going to continue to speak out and say that, as a person who appreciates being free, that I do not think that this is the way a free society should conduct itself in surveilling its systems, its citizens. Sorry. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Any other persons wishing to?
Hello, I'm Mike Lissitra. Thank you, Mike Neal. I'm the guy who has been bringing up concerns about the flock system. I didn't have any specific things to talk about this week, but I just wanted to make people aware that we are having a town hall in these chambers on February 7th at 9 a.m. That's Saturday morning, February 7th, 9 a.m., to discuss concerns, issues, praise, whatever you have. So we hope members of the public will come. The chief will be here, the mayor will be here, hopefully other members of the council will be here. And yeah, let's have a good discussion. This is the camera system that the police primarily uses. And there's 24 of them around the city. And yeah, there's a big database, 2,000 images a day are captured. So there are concerns, there are, positives, there are negatives. Yeah, February 7th, 9 a.m. right here. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other persons wishing to comment? No one else on phone? No? Okay. All right, we'll move on to council announcements and direction. Does any member of the council have announcements? Kyle? Or Councilman Blade?
No, it's fine. Kyle works. Food Truck Fridays, I believe, starts this Friday. Jennifer, I don't know if you're out there anywhere in the. 5 to 8. 5 to 8. On Balsam. What do we do without staff?
One last thing that I want to plug, Parks and Rec basketball season starts this Friday and Saturday. I know if you don't have anything going on Friday night, Saturday night, please come out and support those kids. It is, especially for the Division I, it is quite a joy watching small children chase a basketball around like an amoeba. But having the community there for even any of the divisions, I think it helps. Lets the kids know that, you know, their support. It's not just their parents in the stands, and to help them understand that, you know, sports is a fun event. It's not about wins and losses. It's about growth, and so having the community come out and support those kids would be a fantastic endeavor. Any other comments? All right. We'll move on to consent calendar. All items listed on consent are considered to be routine and non-controversial by city staff. Consent items may be approved by one motion if no member of the council or audience wishes to comment or ask questions. If comment or discussion is desired by anyone, the item will be removed from the consent calendar and will be considered in listed sequence with an opportunity for any member of the public to address the city council concerning the item before action is taken. There is one consent item and it is listed on the posted agenda. Does any member of the council wish to have an item pulled? Seeing none, any member of the public wish to have an item pulled? We're just swimming. This is fantastic.
Zooming right through.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Oh,
That was quick.
That was
Please
quick.
vote. 5 ayes, motion carries.
all right. So next item is a presentation of retirement to City Manager Ron Strand. Do we know him? We do. Okay. All right. So, Councilman Blades.
Rika, are you going to allow Ron to stay up there? Or?
No, I'm coming down.
Okay.
I know the routine.
It'll be my honor and privilege tonight to be emceeing this party. We are all here to honor the legacy of a great man. And I don't say those words lightly. I met Ron when I came on in 2019. I was appointed in December. And I'll say that from our first meeting, Ron has been a force to be reckoned with. It doesn't matter who you are. He will meet you with kindness, and he will look for the best in everybody. But you better have your head screwed on straight, because he damn sure knows what he's talking about. So I will save the rest of my comments for later. But Ron, we're going to hopefully get a few people up here to talk and have a few words. Mr. Mayor, would you please come up?
So I have been in this position for just a little over a year. You know, it's starting out with me. It's only uphill from here. I will say, from the minute that I pulled my papers, Ron has had an open door policy that I can call him, I can come in, I can talk to him, I can bug him. One of my favorite things actually to talk to him about is not city related at all. I have found out that this man is an excellent cook. And he will tell me what he's cooking and how fantastic it is. Has never shared one meal. So I assume in his free time now, you will only be making fantastic meals. To some degree, okay. But what I really do, I was knowledgeable about politics, but I was not knowledgeable about actually doing politics. And you made that transition for me seamless. I know it's gonna shock you all, there are things that I've done that have been mistakes. But, yeah, I know, the shocked, I get it. But I always knew whether or not I was making that mistake or I was doing it right, I had him to lean on. I could go to him and say, hey, what do you think about this? I don't know if you need to do that one. Probably should have asked a lot more questions. That's what I've learned. But I want to thank you for being that sense of peace. And you were never high, you were never low. And you had the ability to just tell me things straight. I always knew that whenever I talked with you, I was going to get the God's honest truth. And as someone in a public position where they call me the lightning rod, you took a lot of slings and arrows as well. And that was on every council that you have supported. You did that on their behalf. And you shielded all of us from that responsibility. And that can't be overstated. And so I appreciate that. Travis, good luck. But I know even if you leave this position and I have questions, you're still going to be there to answer them. And I appreciate that, and I think every council member appreciates that. For what you have meant to this city, 40 years, that is an achievement. That is, I think the longest job I've ever had is 7. So, but we appreciate you. Whether or not the Facebook posts want to say it, they appreciate you. And thank you. Thank you for everything.
Yes, Mr. Solomon Roger Rotnam, would you please? And as Solomon comes up, can I take a quick poll? Is there people in the audience that would like to come up and say a few kind words about Ron? Or just constructive?
Constructive.
There we go.
Good evening, Mayor, fellow council members, staff, and citizens. Ron and I think we are both baby boomers. We think alike, so we get along very well. Though we argue sometimes, we differed on certain occasions. But after 40 years of dedicated and tireless service, Ron has left an indelible mark on the city of Ridgecrest. When he took the helm of Ridgecrest, the city of Ridgecrest is in a financial band and looking for some direction. Today, because of your dedicated service, your foresight, your integrity, and your steady leadership, city of Ridgecrest is in a stable financial position. During your tenure, or past, since 2017, I think, city of Ridgecrest has focused on infrastructure revitalization, public safety, and navigating through crucial financial issues. So I want to mention some of the achievements which I know being associated with you. One is, as I mentioned, the infrastructure revitalization. Under your leadership, City of Ridgecrest has aggressively used Measure V funds to successfully complete some major street and infrastructure projects. The second one is public safety. Taking leverage of your past experience as chief of police, you made public safety of Ridgecrest priority, and you focused on maintaining 911 and emergency services response time. And you fought to make sure that both fire stations are open and fully functional. And courthouse, we were about to lose the courthouse, and you interfered and made sure that the courthouse is not closed. Thank you very much for that. And earthquake. When Ron took over, earthquake recovery and maintenance, he has taken the lead for being the responsible person to interact with the state agencies as well as federal agencies to have disaster recovery programs, disaster funds, as well as long-term funds for rebuilding our community. And then came the pandemic. He has to negotiate through that. So he dealt with that. He was very calm and confident, had a demeanor, and made sure things go well. And during that time, he guided the staff to get funds of $6.9 million in the form of ARPA, which has helped us to rebuild our parks and recreation. Thank you very much for your leadership on that. And you ensured that you have better relationship with the base, better relationship with the county, state, as well as at the national level. Because of those relationships, we were always able to communicate with other agencies. And last but not the least, you also took the lead. You brought, I personally appreciate the leadership you bring to this dais and the way you put the city, the way you put the public as priorities. So, Ron, you have earned your next new stage, new chapter in your life. Though we will deeply miss Ron's guidance, I wish you and your family the very best and filled with joy and happiness, love and laughter, good health, and so that you can do more biking and more adventurous things. And spend more time with your family, especially with your grandchildren. Yeah. So thank you very much for making Ridgecrest a better place for all of us. Thank you very much. Wish you good luck.
Scott. Hello, everybody, and it's absolutely wonderful to see this building full of supporters and friends of Ron Strand. I'm going to start out tonight by our first district supervisor, Philip Peters, was not able to make it, so he asked me if I would present this tonight, so I said, you bet I would. So this is a certificate of recognition presented to Ron Strand, City Manager, 40 years of dedicated public service. In recognition of your exceptional leadership, integrity, and unwavering commitment to the community of Ridgecrest and the county of Kern on this day, January 21st, 2026, by Philip Peters. He wanted me to give you his best and his appreciation for everything that you have done, and so I concur. He means it. So, and now, if I could stand here and talk for an hour about Mr. Strand, and we wouldn't touch a very little bit of what I've seen him accomplish over the last. I'm going on my 8th year now on the council. Ron Strand was a very good police chief, and I've heard that time and again from members of the police department, but I think he is a better city manager, and that says a lot. When I first came onto the council, I was a little nervous. I'm not a politician. It took me very little time to recognize the qualities in Ron. He's a man of great integrity. He is a family man. I don't think I can find another person in this town that has a more want and love of this city and for it to be successful and to be better. He's got a backbone made of oak. He's not afraid to take on the hard challenges, knowing that it could have negative, outcome on him. But he knows it's better for the city, so he tackles that job. Water being one of them, he has been an instrumental mentor and working partner on the water issues in this town. We're in our basin, but anyway, Ron's got a force. He thinks outside of the box. He's always wanting things to be better, and when in the future working on things that he knows he may not see the end result, but it's going to be better for the city. Annexation of our land, it goes on and on. One of the things I want to say is I agree with our mayor when he said that Ron will stand up and take the hits, protect those around him. And the thing that I think is vitally important is that Ron knew there was be a point in time where he wouldn't be in this position. And he has built a foundation that is solid. It's a handoff to our new city manager. I hope you seriously, take in, what he has left you. It's a solid place to be. When I came on, we weren't in that great of a position. There was maybe $300,000 in the books. We were on a watch list, I heard, or we weren't good financially. Employees hadn't had raises, and I watched as the months and the years went by the work that went into making it better. We got employees raises, and Ron, he's looked out for that for the staff and for everyone in the city. But anyway, I can't say enough about you as a person, as a city leader, as a city manager. I've loved working with you. Bittersweet moment right at the moment, but I don't think we'll see the end of you. And it's an honor to have worked with you, and the city's been lucky to have you, and I'm glad you're not going anywhere. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart. So.
Mr. Skip Gorman. And so after Mr. Gorman, we'll have some public comment, and then we have a few other folks that need to present.
Thank you. I'm not a hugger. In a way, I've been writing this for the last 3 years. So I'll read it. City Manager Ron Strand has made a remarkable impression on me during my term as a new city councilman. He impressed me with his genuine and unaffected personality and his deep affection for Ridgecrest. I'm told that one can get an accurate measure of a person's true character by getting him drunk while playing poker with him. Well, sadly, I haven't had that opportunity, but I do know that I have given him many occasions to cloud up and rain on me in sheer frustration. Indeed, his abiding graciousness never once slipped. Though many of our mano-a-mano interactions were as topical antagonists, Ron was always patient, restrained, and good-natured. Indeed, I enjoyed dealing with this guy at all times. And over time, it became obvious to me that he was eminently empowered by his nature and his knowledge to manage this complicated city, in this complicated county, in this complicated state, swimming in an ocean of complicated laws with equanimity and confidence. Indeed, he has managed to define for me the ideal standard of the successful city manager. Congratulations, Ron Strand. Nice going.
So I need you to stand for just a few more minutes, Ron. Just a few more minutes. We have.
Got my podium diagram.
So before we have a few other representatives come up, are there any members of the public? JV? Yeah, please do. Yeah, and please do line up if you have anything to say.
Thanks, good to see you. So first, I know the kids are getting restless, so I'll be quick. I bring greetings from Captain Paul Dale, my predecessor. I wish I was here in uniform, but I'm here in a suit. Not here on behalf of the Navy, but here as a previous commanding officer of the installation, and one that fought through earthquakes, fires, COVID with all of you. And I will tell you that all that could have ripped us apart between the city and the base, and it did not because of the base that Ron built. And he knew that the installation, the base, the mission is so critically important to our nation. And so he protected the city, which protected our people, which protected our nation. And there are things going all over the world right now that are being touched in positive ways because of what happens on that base in China Lake. And it could not happen without the engineers that come here and stay here because of the development that Ron has built and brought to Ridgecrest. And then secondly, the teamwork, the family that is the relationship between the base and the city was not always that way. And I am so thankful it is because we can face any crisis together because of what you brought to this town and to the base. And so from PUD, from me, thank you so much. Any day, what they said earlier was true. I could text him, I could call him anytime, day or night, and sometimes I did at very late hours of the night when we were stressed, when we had a 100,000 acre fire on the installation and we needed help, and Ron was always there. So from me, from PUD, thank you so much, Ridgecrest. That's why I stayed. Ron, that's why we stay. Thank you.
Mayor Endicott, councilmen, ladies and gentlemen, I don't represent anybody but being Ron's neighbor for a lot of years. We met in 1989, sitting on the backs of our pickup trucks, drinking beer, watching our houses get built. And then we watched our families grow. And I just wanted to say, for those of you who don't know, I've seen Ron tell the youngsters and our family, integrity, that's what you do when people aren't looking. And he lived by it. And one thing, out of all the beer we consumed, wherever we camped, whether it was on our front porch or building a swing set in a frozen garage on Christmas Eve, Ron, how come you do the stuff you do? He says, I care about this place. He did that when he was a cop. I care about the city. I want to see it succeed. Why are you guys moving again? Tell me that. You should stay here. Well, here we are. We're still here. As the city manager, it's cool to see people that I've known for years say, this is a nice place to be, and I know how it got that way. And when I hear him say, Strand, it's like, dude, that's my neighbor. Ron, thank you and congratulations, brother.
Just as a reminder, please use the microphone.
Well, Ron, almost 20 years ago, Oberfell came up with a vision of having an emergency response team here in Ridgecrest. And thanks to Ron, they became our sponsoring agency. He helped promote our CERT team. He helped build our CERT team. He helped many of our members so that they could become emergency responders. And we haven't always said it, but we appreciate everything you've ever done. You've always had our backs, and we just appreciate everything you've ever done, so thank you.
while my board makes their way up, I was asked to present on behalf of the Ridgecrest Area Association of Realtors. Their AE is serving civic duty at the school district committee, oversight committee this evening. So they're just in grateful appreciation for 40 years of extraordinary dedication and invaluable service to the community of Ridgecrest, California. So that is from RAR. And then I am Rebecca McCord, Executive Director of the Ridgecrest Chamber of Commerce, and I have multiple board members here as well. And we also just wanted to recognize you for your dedication, and personally, as the chamber and myself, seeing the advancements and your dedication to the quality of life and getting to be a part of, I think we call it the party planning meeting, basically, is just really appreciated in keeping people here, wanting people to stay here and see Ridgecrest as their home. So as a chamber, thank you for helping advance the quality of life and having our business's interests at heart. So, and then your neighbor said you like beer, so we also heard that.
All right, before I speak, I need to know, is he officially retired? Is he still my boss? So he's still my boss, okay.
Till 11:59.
11:59, all right, we need to get him out of the way so me and Ryan could be some of the longest people here working for the city. But no, the reality is we've heard a lot about him, city manager, him, police chief, but where I think he made the most impact to a lot of us is when he was an officer, when he was a sergeant. When he was out there solving all those cases that Mike Scott took credit for, This was the guy behind that. But no, when I first started, almost 27 years now ago, he was one of my first sergeants, and what he did to guide me as a police officer, as a young man, as a young adult, through this career, through this city, through my marriage. I mean, at some points he was like a dad, he was like a priest, He was also the guy who told me I was screwing up and quit doing that. We've heard common themes, how he would, take a hit for his people, and I've seen that firsthand. So we may remember him now as the guy, sitting on top of this city building right now doing all these great things for the city as a whole. But I can tell you he's touched me personally, he's touched a lot of you guys personally, and his contributions to the city cannot be overstated. You will be missed. Make room for the rest of us, and I wish you the best.
Yeah, I can't say it any better than Justin. Chief, this is Chief. He was my chief for 10 years, a father, a mentor, a guy that put me in my place a lot because I'm a knucklehead, but we all are. But he takes the shots. He said it best. He will take a hit from anybody. He stands strong. You never see him sweat. When times are bad, you would have never known. So a great leader, great mentor, and we're going to miss you. Thank you.
All right, well, good afternoon. My name is Kurt, and I used to work here a very long time ago. So when I did, it was very clear, even back then, that Ron would be the best city manager that this city had ever seen. He had the ethics, the integrity, the brains, the relationship, the deep compassion and love for this city and the people in this city. But with all that, I never thought it would happen because he loved the PD so much, I thought he would never leave the PD. So over the last, however long it's been, we still stay in contact. We do a whole, we still communicate. We still do all those things. And I know how he feels about all of you, and I know how much he has loved most of the aspects of this job when he's been here. So I also didn't think he would ever do this. So I came just to see if it was true, if he was really gonna actually go ahead and give that up. But this is an outstanding person. All the things that you've said are all the things that I expected would happen because it was always very clear. He made my job a whole lot easier when I was here, and since then his friendship has also made my life a lot easier. Congratulations.
been doing this for 30 some odd years, since 1990. History is being made. I've never stood behind this podium. Yeah. I have never worked with a city manager that cared as much for the city and for what's going on here as you do. It's been an honor and a privilege. I wish it could have been longer. I wish I'd gotten here sooner. But you're doing what's right for you and your family, and congratulations. I appreciate everything that you've done, made my job a lot easier. Travis, you have a shining example. The path is there. Thank you for everything. Congratulations.
Hi, my name is Peggy Breeden. As a former mayor, as a person who lives in this community, a person who owns businesses in this community, I feel like we have been blessed. I have been personally blessed because this man gave me the opportunity. When I came here, I had already served on the airport district. I had served on the water district. And I thought my career was over. And when it came time to say, I'm done, I thought, I'm not done. I believe I have to be here, I have to serve, and I have to do what's right, because this is the opportunity for the city to be better. And when we had the opportunity to hire Ron, I am so proud. I was in that board that made that decision. I am very proud that we all were there, and I can only say, thank you, my friend. We lost a real winner here, but we're going to gain another one. Thank you.
My word, Travis, big shoes. Big shoes. So he will be. He will be. So is there a representative? Matt, are you here? Matt Bauer? Would you mind coming up, please? Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Matt Bauer. I'm here tonight on behalf of Congressman Vince Fong, who asked me to present a letter to you written by him. Reads, Dear Ron, on behalf of the 20th Congressional District of California, I write to congratulate you on your retirement after 40 years to the day with the city of Ridgecrest. We owe you a debt of gratitude for your hard work and dedication to the community. As you celebrate this milestone, I hope you will take pride in all you have accomplished and the example you have set for others to follow. Again, congratulations on a successful career and a well-deserved retirement. I wish you well as you embark on this exciting and enjoyable new chapter of your life. Sincerely, Vince Fong. Mr. Criswell.
Mayor, members of the council, it's my honor, Cody Criswell and Perry Fenzel, to be here on behalf of Assemblyman Stan Ellis to present this resolution from the state of California. It's interesting getting to watch Ron up here. I feel like we're seeing a piece of Ron with everyone that comes up and says something. I noticed you're a little more tense in business as each one of your colleagues shared, and then your bear buddy gets up here, and I see those. And then someone mentions grandchildren. He's like, mine are right there, right? It's over 40 years. Yeah, your cop buddies. Yeah. Just the city of Ridgecrest over the last 40 years has got to see you really grow into that and become a phenomenal leader. So just on behalf of the Assemblyman, I want to thank you for your contributions and the legacy that you're leaving here in the city of Ridgecrest.
I guess I might as well say a few words. So I'm with Assemblyman Stan Ellis, but I'm not an uncommon face out here. I used to work for Speaker McCarthy for 6 years. So I had open door policy with Ron, and believe me, he definitely knew my number. But many of the incidences that were mentioned earlier, like the earthquakes, fires, when you move that stuff to the federal level, it's like pulling teeth from a rhino. That's all I gotta say. So I was able to work with him and move that stuff along and really have an open door. And I mean, we used to talk cycling and all that stuff. So, I left for a little while, but it's good to see you again, and congratulations.
Chief, I think it's your turn.
I think I'm okay. The teleprompters are not here, so it's down one page, not 19.
It does take him longer to walk up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always this guy with the height jokes as I move the microphone down. You hear people talk about Ron being here 40 years, and you think to yourself, what was I doing 40 years ago? I was doing homework. In 10th grade. I've only been here a little less than 2 years, so I'm the new guy on the team. But when I came here, Ron made it clear, not by saying so, but by his actions, how important the city was and the relationship with the base and the role that I could play as police chief to continue to build that and make it better. He made it clear what the expectations were of me to fulfill what he was looking for. And it's tough when you come and work for a guy that was the police chief that everybody loved, and they're like, when Ron was here, and you're like, but it's me now. But he made it easy. He didn't try to tell me what to do. He made it clear what the priorities were because of his love for this city. He came here, 1980 something, and he even said, I was gonna be here a couple of years and move on. Clearly not. All over a whole McDonald's thing, but that's a whole different story. The McDonald's girl's here tonight too, with all of her kids and grandchildren. But he's made it really easy for us. His priority has always been the city. In watching how decisions are made, they're always made with the best interest of the city. He doesn't look at how it personally affects him or even his family, but the bigger picture of his Ridgecrest family. And he really believes that you all are part of his family. That's why he does this. That's why he's empowered us to do the things that make this city great. The community events, the ability to get out and engage with the community. I sit in department head meetings with Travis, Narissa, Kelly, Ricka, Riley. I'm sure I'm missing somebody. But who did I miss? Terry Roberts. He's the only guy newer than me. Finally have some seniority. But he's really put a team together that you as the community, our partners at the base, the assemblyman's office, the congressman's office, you won't see anything change. He's put a system together that is built on his 40 years of foundation that we just get to keep pushing forward because he set it up that way. And for that, I'm appreciative. I'm grateful that I get to live in Ridgecrest. My wife and I love it here. The city is great. And really, it's 40 years of Ron coming up as a cop and realizing the value in this community, and then continuing that and making sure that he was always in a position to do the right things to make Ridgecrest as great as it is today. So for that, I'm appreciative. I'm grateful that he gave me an opportunity. I'm an outsider. I was a guy in Northern California. I didn't know where Ridgecrest was. They're like, hey, what do you think about being a cop in Ridgecrest? I'm like, cool. Where's that? And Ron has shown me the way. He's been a great mentor, and I'm glad that he's not, one of those guys that's going to retire and leave town, because I still want to talk to him. He still has great ideas to help us continue to be successful, even though I have every confidence that Travis will be at least marginal. So with that, we appreciate you.
Rick, are you ready?
Okay, I wrote mine down. Mine's not going to be as humorous as Chief was, and I wanted to make sure not to miss anything. So, today we honor Ron for an extraordinary career defined by service, leadership, and unwavering commitment to the city. Over 40 years ago, Ron began his journey as a probationary police officer, never imagining how many lives he would touch or how many roles he would be called upon to fill. From police officer to sergeant, lieutenant, deputy chief, chief of police, and ultimately to city manager, Ron answered every call with a kind of steady leadership. Few individuals can say they have served this community in so many capacities, and even fewer have done so with such consistency, professionalism, and heart. Ron's career is a testament to earned trust. At every stage, whether serving as interim chief police or interim city manager or leading permanently in those roles, he brought calm. Calm during uncertainty, clarity during challenge, and a deep respect for both the people he served and those he served alongside. He understood that titles may change, but responsibility does not. His leadership strengthened our organization, elevated those around him, and left this city better prepared for the future. As Ron enters retirement, we do so with gratitude and admiration. His legacy is not just the positions he held, but the examples he set. Service before self, leadership through action, and dedication without expectation of any recognition. Ron, thank you for 40 years of commitment to this city and to its people. You leave behind a legacy that will endure, and you do so with our deepest respect and best wishes on the road ahead. On a personal note, Ron is also my brother-in-law, and I can say without hesitation that it has been a true honor to work alongside him. It has been difficult at times, but we worked our way through it. To see firsthand the professionalism, integrity, and care he brought to this organization and community makes me proud both personally and professionally. So as a lasting testament to our gratitude, city staff will be honoring you with a bench we're going to place outside of City Hall. It's out there right now. We put it up this afternoon, but we had it covered so he couldn't see it. So he has not seen it. This is his first eye view on it. We are placing it out in front of City Hall as a place of reflection and a reminder of the steady leadership and lifelong service that you gave to this community. The plaque says, honoring Ron Strand, a legacy of leadership from the badge to City Hall. Thank you for 40 years of service to Ridgecrest, 1986 to 2026. Congratulations, Ron.
And to give you an idea of the amount of professionalism and integrity that Ricka represents and Ron Strand, for the longest time, I didn't know there was a family connection. Like, call me naive, but I didn't have any idea. I didn't find out till later. So that shows the way they execute their daily life. And I think we have one more person, and then I'm going to give some closing comments. Travis, if you want to come up.
You know, Chief kind of said it pretty good. He was saying, where was I 40 years ago? So I was thinking about that. January 21st, 1986. Where was I? I think I was still inside my dad, but I don't know. But 40 years. I guess that means I'm going to be 40 this year. Sure. You know, all the nice things that everybody has said about you, and hearing them, I got to experience that firsthand for 5 years. Well, after I got here, I learned that I was getting interviewed for 2 of those years before that. So technically, I guess I got 7 years. So from Public Works, first of all, I know we always try to do something with a street sign. The Strand Way, I will forever remember that. Ron gave me some words of wisdom my first day on the job. He said, if it feels good, don't say it. And I will forever cherish that saying, because there are so many times that all of us staff here see things that are posted on Facebook or things that are said about other members of our staff, and you want to respond. And you will always remember what he said. If it feels good, don't say it. All right, I can't say that. So we got to re-tailor this one more time. But on a personal level, you're the best boss I've ever had. I have learned so much from you, and I will absolutely miss our conversations daily. And you have touched me and believed in me when most people would not. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
I think I told everybody earlier, I came on the council in 2019, and as soon as I came on the council, I started to learn real fast, and a lot of that was from talking to Ron. A lot of that was from my fellow council members, right? Heyman, I learned a lot from you. Rika, I remember the very first time that I sat down in a council meeting, she looked over at me and said, "Breathe." You got it. But after that, it was Ron. After that, I could come to Ron about anything, and no matter what it was, even if we disagreed on it, we would have a hearty debate and leave as friends. So I wanted to start with a quote. "The future is not shaped by those who do not really believe in the future." Ron, I've heard versions of this quote throughout the years, but this one is by John W. Gardner, the only Republican in President Johnson's cabinet. "I've personally lived in Ridgecrest for most of my life. I went to daycare at Norma Square, Las Flores, to Murray, to Burroughs, Saracoso. I went to the Army recruiter here in Ridgecrest. I left Ridgecrest to strike out on an adventure. But in my time here, I have never met anybody who is more pro-Ridgecrest than Ron Strand. Every conversation that you and I have, it always ties back to here. It ties back to your family, to your daughters, to your wife, who apparently hang the moon, right? Ron's given me a lot of advice, but one of them is always take care of your family. Keep your wife happy. He says that over and over and over, so I'll get it one of these days. But everything ties back to the future of this community and what it could be. So I was staring at a calendar, much like we've heard the comments a few times. So I was looking at a calendar. Looks like you came to the Ridgecrest in 1986 and 1985. That's when The Goonies was in theater, right? But a few things happened in 1986 that I think is worth noting. Clint Eastwood was elected mayor of Carmel. On a trial basis, the Senate allowed debates to be televised. Top Gun premiered. The Space Shuttle Challenger, before everyone's eyes, exploded. Chernobyl blew up, changed the world. Reagan and Gorbachev began talks in Reykjavik, Iceland. The government shuts down due to a difference between President Reagan and the House. And the Voyager leaves Edwards Air Force Base for the first nonstop, unfueled flight around the world. There was a lot going on in 1986, but that's the point. The point is that life changes so much, but it also stays very much the same. It turns fast, often too fast, and we get a small amount of time, and what we do with it matters. 40 years dedicated to one community is nothing short of a legacy, and truly something for the rest of us to aspire to. Public service can be a blessing and a curse. It can age you beyond your years, and while the wisdom you amass during just 1 year in public service is invaluable, it can be heavy. Heavy in a way that few understand, and if one finds themselves at it for long enough, and if you care to do the job right, and if you care for those around you, and if you care for this community, you'll end up finding yourself in charge. Working your way up to chief, that's no small feat. And from our talks, being a cop was your life's passion. So being chief makes sense, right? I wanted to take a moment and looked around when I was looking at Ron's career, and it looks like the average police officer, I don't know about Ridgecrest, chief, I don't know where you are, back me up, but the average police officer leaves around 7 years, right? So somewhere between 7 and 10 years. Ron, you did 30? 32 years. Then you became the city manager. And that shows such a incredibly unique depth of character. This position requires that you have your morals etched firmly in stone, and your compass cannot be bent even the slightest. Otherwise, you will not last in this position. Ron, the first piece of advice you gave me was to pick a path, stick to it, and mean it. Don't mess around in this job. There is no room for indecision. It's an easy thing to say. We've all heard some version of this our entire lives. I would even venture to say that when I look out in the crowd that we have all had that moment where you just wish, maybe it wasn't a big thing, but you wish you would have done the hard thing, the right thing, instead of the easy thing. And Ron, I've watched you exemplify this key tenet of leadership in the execution of your duties, and the city has progressed and been made better because of it. In the words of the great Abraham Lincoln, nearly all men can stand adversity, but if you want to test a man's character, give him power. You've always sought the truth, done the hard work, stood up for your friends. Sometimes you stood up to your friends, faced off foes. Ron, I actually bumped across a poem just recently, so bear with me. It's written by Charles Mackay. You have no enemies, you say. Alas, my friend, the boast is poor. He who has mingled in the fray of duty that the brave endure must have made foes. If you have none, small is the work that you have done. You've hit no traitor on the hip. You've dashed no cup from perjured lip. You've never turned the wrong to right. You've been a coward in the fight. Ron, you've always held the line to make this community better, and I thank you deeply for it. In the last 8 years of you being city manager, Ridgecrest has seen drastic positive change, both internally to how business is done and on the face of the city. We watched a city on the brink of being broke come back to positive. We've seen an enormous investment in roads, economic development, a strong and impressive city staff that has absolutely moved mountains. Community outreach programs, communication with the community. All that was not there before, and the list continues to go on and on. I know that you would say that was not all you, that you empowered your staff and they did the rest. And you're right. But without you, we would be sitting in a remarkably different Ridgecrest. It's taking creativity, the boldness of character to take risks, the courage to be wrong, and the humility to find goodness in everyone, no matter the circumstances. Mr. Strand, Mr. City Manager, Chief, congratulations on your well-deserved reprieve. You leave big shoes to fill, but a legacy to follow. Sir, we are in your debt.
All I can ask when I'm really old and I get stuck in this chair, that somebody from the PD comes and lifts me out. Guys, that's very special. I can't say words on how great that is and all the kind things you guys have said. I've always been a humble person. Staff always knows one of my best sayings is I'm the Wizard of Oz. I'm the guy behind the curtain. I'm the one that takes the heat and the blame and the credit goes elsewhere. But that makes it really easy because I got great staff. I got a great council. I've hired some really great people that I've had a wonderful time working with for the last couple of years. You know, Travis, Narissa, Kelly, Terry, who am I missing over here? Jennifer, Isabel, all of them. You know, they've just done a great job in learning their work, learning their craft, and making things easy for me, allowing me to be focusing on the big topics, the big issues, and just guiding them to where they need to go. And making the decision to retire was very difficult. I think we made it late December of 24. I let the council know in February of 25, and it's been real up and down, a lot of guilt, because I really care about this place. I really know that I'm gonna miss what I do. But after 40 years, you have to know when to let the next team move forward and take over the city. Travis, he found out later that You know, I was initially interviewing him for quite a long time when he worked at the Water District, and I was very proud to snag him because him and I care a lot about this community, and we think a lot alike. And so when I looked at who we could have within the city that can continue to move us to the next level, to continue to improve our quality of life, continue to make, you know, quality of life, you know, for the base, one of the most important things we have, he was the guy. And we've had a lot of philosophical conversations on Fridays when everybody else was gone. We had a great time. So I think that I'm leaving the community and especially the staff in great hands. Now, as in all things, when I started as city manager, I made a lot of mistakes. My experience as chief, I was able to kind of, you know, work my way through where a lot of people didn't find out the mistakes that I made, right? Nothing really big. But I was, you know, good enough that I could do a course correction. So the job is going to be difficult, but I think Travis is the person that's going to be the one that's going to continue where we need to go. We got a great council. I love working for you guys. It's nice having a 5-0 council. It's nice having, you know, people that really ran for office for the betterment of the community. There are times we have issue candidates, right? Those are the ones that just get elected for one thing and one thing only, and they lose track of everything else. We don't have that with you guys. Each one of you care in your own way, and I've been able to develop an individual relationship with all of you. Some, you know, much closer than others, but each one of you I have a relationship that I do cherish, that I have, you know, learned to appreciate. Ricka, you've always been our rock when it comes to council, when it comes to all the things that we need to do for the city. You've always been a critical voice when I need it, because I do have my blind spots, and sometimes I need to be reminded what my blind spots are, and so I do have staff that does that. But really, at the end of the day, after 40 years, the one that I really have to thank the most is my wife, Erin. Now, they did mention the McDonald's thing. We kind of got set up. She was working McDonald's. Got in a little bit of trouble, but, you know, as the youngest cop, I got the short end of the stick. I had to pick up prisoner meals for the whiny people in jail. But it was a benefit. I met my wife. She's been here the entire time, good and bad. She's put up with all the middle of the night call outs. You know, the time, don't answer the phone. We haven't been out of town in months. Don't answer the phone. Answer the phone. Hey, they got a shooting. You need to go in. And then she'd get mad at me for going in. I'm like, oh, but you answered the phone. Then my two lovely daughters, Ashley and Amanda. You guys have been wonderful. I mean, you grew up in the community. You guys turned out great. You know, Brian, Alex, you guys are great guys. You know, appreciate you guys being with my daughter. Appreciate my grandbabies. I asked Hayden if she wanted to come up and talk, and she said no, and that's okay. No, she's all good. But my second youngest, Kinsley, probably is a pistol. She'll probably come here and speak all night long. But anyway, I do appreciate, you know, we got Heather, Lori. You know, Lori, you put up me when I was chief. Of course, I got my other family here, Karen, my mother-in-law, Paul, William, and Katie. You know, Paul just lost his son in a tragic accident a couple weeks ago, so I really appreciate you coming. It means a lot. Kurt Wilson, you're still my favorite boss. I mean, when you came up with the idea with Major L and the sales tax, you brought in Lou Edwards, and you really kind of helped put this community on the right path. And you know, I was glad to be part of continuing it forward to fix our revenue, fix our issues, and you did a good job. You're here, and I do appreciate your mentorship. I remember calling you when you were up in Stockton and asking you questions about some issues I had, and you were always there for me to answer that. So, of course, Mike and Dolores, all the guys in the back, Mike Scott. We won't talk about stories about Mike Scott. Mike and I went through a lot of doors as a cop, and you know, I'll go to the ends of the earth for that guy. So, but anyway, not to belabor this thing anymore. This is overwhelming for me. I'm usually not the guy that likes praise or, you know, kind words. Just not my nature. But I do respect and understand and really do appreciate the fact that I may have had a difference in some people's lives and made a difference in my efforts. And so with that, thank you. Thank you for coming.
So with that, as we leave, there are snacks and cookies and that sort of thing right outside, and we are going to be,
You got a couple more things?
I have one.
go ahead.
So, I like to be a little introspective. I'm not going to take long. One of my favorite movies is It's a Wonderful Life. And if you've had the opportunity to watch that film, the film is about the impact that a person makes and what their life means. And Ron, while this is just a small token, I want you to look around, and I want everyone else to look around at the impact that you've made. We appreciate you. We thank you. And with that, we will adjourn. Thank you all.